All right, what do we got? Let's start with questions today. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's go with Tim. Tim, how about we start with you?
Okay, you talked on Sunday about Will linebackers being inconsistent. You said both of them practiced well, so I don't know if you could base it upon what happened in practice this week, but who's going to start at Will?
Tavon will, but Guerrero will see some considerable action because there's going to be a lot of nickel situations. So I think you'll see the game's a little bit different. The game will be played a little bit different than the Michigan State game. Much more of a power running game against Michigan State than, Duke's going to try to run the football, obviously, but, they've been throwing it quite effectively. So just a different game, so you'll see both of them. Yeah.
I don't think we talked about injuries specifically out of Michigan State, but it didn't seem like there was anything serious.
No, there was nothing. Nobody held out of practice. Nobody missed a practice. Tuesday we were a little easy on a couple of guys, but normal stuff. But everybody full go.
Any other lineup changes?
Nope, no lineup changes. I just wanted to make sure I could go through everybody.
Brian B. Watkins, any update on his likelihood?
Yeah, I think we're at a point right now where we got to make a decision whether we want to get him in, and he's got some growth. We're not 100% there, but it's. Let's put it this way: it looks like the decision to use the technique that we did is a positive thing. But we're starting to fight time. As I said to you before, we played him as a freshman, and we probably my fault that we didn't utilize him properly as a freshman, and I don't want to do that to the kid again. So my point being is, if it's going to take another week or two, do I play him for a half a season? And now he's a junior. So I got to make that decision here in the next week.
And before any hearing whatsoever on Ashton White?
All those guys have had their cases adjudicated, and they're all going to be playing this weekend.
Getting back to Watkins, has he expressed, does he want to play? What does he want to do this year?
Well, he hasn't been given full clearance by Dr. Radigan. They like what they see. I think they want to wait another week and see if it's at that point where they can give him the green light, and then we'll sit down and have that conversation. I would say, standing here in front of you right now, based upon my conversation with Dr. Radigan, he thinks it's still 2 more weeks. And if that is the case, I would be leaning towards not playing him at this point, not to use up a half year on him.
Ryan, you mentioned from extra hitting on Tuesday. Did you, and what do you think you got out of it?
Well, Tom, it wasn't necessarily more hitting as much as we thudded up. We didn't take anybody to the ground. But what I wanted to do was put our defensive players, particularly in the back end and at the linebackers, in a position where they could go from speed to power on every play and not have just a run by tag off. So we created more of those opportunities during practice. So I don't know that it was more physical as much as it was an intent to put our players in what we would consider a better transition phase for being good tacklers.
Justin Brent, where's he sit with you right now from a health standpoint?
He has struggled with this foot. We had him out there yesterday, and he is still hobbled. So, we're not even considering him right now, because then it's going to be a long haul, before he can even get into, playing shape. So he's a down the road guy.
I had a follow-up on Chase.
Yeah.
British Columbia apparently is the only province that plays American high school rules, so the rest of them play similar to CFL.
Yes.
had he been in another province, would it have been harder to maybe get interested in him?
At his position, probably. You know, you're generally looking at guys that make a difference on defense, which are generally the guys that come off the edge and sack the quarterback, or man-to-man kind of corners that have innate skills that way, or from an offensive standpoint that are elite runners of the football, because the game doesn't really change much from that perspective. All the other things, if he was in motion half the time as a receiver and playing with more space, there's a bigger transition. That goes from my days recruiting up there. When I was at Central Michigan, we had 3 starters from Canada that were really good players for us, but recruiting, you have to be very careful. Yes.
A lot of the guys this week were asked about kind of the criticism that they've received this week on social media, not just this week, but over the last 3 weeks on social media. Now, I know earlier this week you said that a lot of people on your staff run your Twitter and other social media accounts, but I was wondering if
I'm involved in my Twitter as
well,
well.
I was wondering if you
Including me.
if you log on and take a peek at kind of what's going on your timeline.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? No way.
So do you see the criticism that you get from people on Twitter or anything?
No, but I'm sure it's out there. I mean, it comes with the territory. I know what the expectations are of the football program at Notre Dame. If it's not out there, I would be surprised. It's part of, you know, when you build expectations, you're going to get criticized, and I have no problem with that. I get that. You know, as I said, I'm a 1-2 football coach, and if you're not criticizing a 1-2 football coach, then you know your fan base is pretty soft.
Anything else?
Yeah, Coach, going back like some other seasons you've had in the past, I know 2006 in Central Michigan, your last year there, you guys started off with 2 losses. I mean, you're playing Power 5 teams. You've had other times where, you know, your first year at Notre Dame where things didn't get off to the kind of the start you got, there's a lot of criticism. Is there a way that you can kind of turn that with your players and kind of where they kind of get that us against the world mentality? I know there's a couple comments yesterday. Is that just kind of how they react to it? How does that develop?
It's really about the musts that we have to have within our program, and that is, you got to avoid the noise. You must avoid the noise, and you must focus on the things that are pertinent to helping you win football games. And none of that noise is going to help you win football games. So this week has been about what are the musts that we have to have on Saturdays. A consistency of offense performance. We have to take care of the football, no penalties on special teams. And we've got to tackle and not give up the explosive play on defense. Take all that other minutia out. All the offensive plays, all the schemes, take away all the defensive coverages. If you just whittle it down to its simplest forms, if we tackle better and don't give up explosive plays on defense, we're going to be fine. If we play with more consistency on offense, we're going to be fine. If we don't get penalties and take care of the football and special teams, we're going to be fine. And that's the focus. It's got to be single-minded on that. And so when I'm in these kinds of situations, it's really just about being clear as to what the objectives are. And if you want to listen to all that other stuff, it's not going to help you win. And it's not going to help me help our guys win.
So when you go back to that 2006 season, you win 7 of 8 down the stretch, you look at your first year, you finish with a good start. Was it simply about it just started to click? Was there buttons that you were able to push that kind of apply now, or is it simply as simple as like we just gotta coach better and play better?
There's all of those things are, you do things in a game because you're not doing them right all the time. So it's cleaning those things up on a day-to-day basis and knowing that I'm seeing them occur, that we're getting better at them every day, that it's going to show itself in the way we play. Not yet, but we're getting to that point where it's going to begin to show itself. because our players are committed to that end. If they weren't committed to that end, if we didn't have them, understanding how important that is, I'd probably be more concerned. But I know that they're going to clean up those areas, and we've taken the time to look at our coaching and what we can do to be better coaches as well.
Last part about that is when you've kind of been in these situations, was it just, did it click on the practice field? Was there like a game where kind of it all clicks and kind of can point to and say, hey, or has it been different for every team? Like, what is the thing that kind of, sends that team that's sort of trajecting this way to kind of go and just start kind of getting it done?
When your message is backed up by performance. So I've told our guys, and I believe this, I believe in our football team. I believe in the guys that are out there. I believe that they're going to make plays. They're going to clean up the mistakes. And once they do, then you're off and running. Because then the message is backed up by doing it. And then it can start to duplicate itself.
Brian, over here. What are the kind of the nuances that differentiate run blocking versus pass blocking on the offensive line specifically?
Well, I mean, obviously, from a run blocking standpoint, we're looking at rolling the hips and being in a good biomechanical position to exert force against the ground. So it's force that you're exerting to getting to that proper movement. You've got to have assistance in run blocking. Run blocking's not about just yourself. It's having help alongside and trusting that help. But I think it's a power move more than anything else. Pass blocking is a combination of power, agility, balance, all of those things coming together, and the ability, to do that play in, play out makes it difficult to be a great offensive lineman. And we've been very fortunate that we've had guys that can do both. Good.
Thanks, everybody.
See you.